det med Sør-Afrika, det bringer oss naturlig over til det som blir siste innslaget i vårt program, nemlig et intervju som vi laget med biskop Desmond Tutu under det norgesbesøket som han nylig hadde. Og det vi spurte han om var hva preken hans ville ha inneholdt på en dag som denne.
My message would be that witness for the Christian almost always involves suffering and could also involve death, and that is often the test of the authenticity of that witness, because we use the word martyr, which comes from the Greek word martus, which means witness.
In what way should the church celebrate this day with reference to all those who are persecuted today?
I think that the fact that this day comes so close to Christmas tells us that our God is a God who cares about those who suffer. The ones who came first to the stable were ordinary shepherds, the lowly. And therefore, it means that the church must be a church that cares for the oppressed, the voiceless, and those who are downtrodden. And the church must be ready to suffer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Stephen was persecuted because of his Christian belief.
Yes.
Is it right to say that Christians in South Africa also are persecuted because of their Christian belief?
Oh yes, I have no doubt at all that whenever the Christian is true to his calling to obey his Lord and Master, then almost inevitably he will pay the price, and the authorities will usually try to shut him up. And the church in South Africa, in many instances, is a church under siege.
What is so special about the martyrdom in South Africa?
I think that we have been told that unless we take up the cross, we cannot be the disciples of our Lord Jesus Christ. And therefore, the authenticity of our witness in South Africa will be attested to by the suffering. There are many, I haven't suffered myself very much, but there are very many Christians, people like Beyers Naudé, who have been banned by the South African government, people like Winnie Mandela, and people who have been detained without trial. I have a young colleague in the South African Council of Churches who has spent 230 days in solitary confinement. That shows to me that the church is being true to its calling and obedient to its Lord and Master.
How can you be so sure that God will be on your side in that matter?
Oh, the scriptures make it quite clear. God, right from the beginning, was on the side of a group of slaves in Egypt, and he led them out of bondage in the Exodus. And there is a wonderful story of Naboth, where the king wanted his vineyard, and he was killed by the queen's instruction, and God intervened. There is the story too of Bathsheba and Uriah, where King David committed adultery with Bathsheba and had Uriah killed, and God intervened on behalf of that. And our Lord Jesus Christ makes it quite clear when he says in his parable about the Last Judgment, have you fed the hungry? Have you fed? Have you clothed the naked? Have you visited the sick and the imprisoned ones? Inasmuch as you have done this to the least of these, my brethren, you have done it to me. So those who are oppressed are Christ's brothers and sisters. And St. Paul says it. If God be for us, who can be against us?
So this day can be an important day.
Utterly. It is an important day, especially because, you see, people sometimes get very sentimental about Christmas, and they think about babies and they are all gooey. And it is important that that day is linked so closely that the love of God is bound up with suffering and death. The cross is not far away from the stable of Bethlehem.
That's a message you are carrying around.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But you see, because of the cross, there is the resurrection. You see, they all are held together. And that is why the Christian is always a prisoner of hope.